A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing people out there to the channel Twinflame Union. And this is a channeling session, and I'm doing a channeling session after a long time actually. And there was a pause in between after the pandemic hit India, and I got very busy. But this channeling actually happened before the pandemic happened, which means that this came to me in the month of January, February. And in India, the whole lockdown thing started on 22nd March. So it was due since then. This is an audio channeling that I'm doing. It happened in February, and this is the month of September. So February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, 7 months. And somehow the number 7 at that time also was coming out very strongly. 7th month from the channeling. So yeah, for some of you who has been in this journey for a very long time, especially if you have crossed 11 years already, then this 7th month from this channeling is going to have something important for you as well. And I have to say that I am not one of those people who completely supports the concept of physical union in all cases. I don't agree to that, because I know that every twin flame couple out here is on a very important mission, and this is supposed to be their last life on planet Earth. So they don't really care about the whole romantic aspect. It's not important. And the greatest example of that is of Lord Sri Ram and Sita. And I'm going to take their names here because this channeling has a lot to do with the union with source. And if you guys land up on this channeling, I have to say that you're going to get a great deal out of it in due time, be it today or be it 7 months from now or be it 7 weeks or 7 days. The number 7 is going to play some role. It can also be 7 years for completely new beginners, because the time, the ages, the pole shift, all of that is happening now. And I'm going to talk about the ages and the energy shift and the dimension change, and how we are moving from third dimension to fourth to fifth for some people, even seventh for some people. I'll talk about that in a separate channeling session. In this one, definitely I'll stick to this. So Lord Sri Ram and Sita, and also Radha and Krishna, these are all Indian gods. Some of you would have heard about them, some of you might not have. So you can Google about Radha, Krishna, you can Google about Shiv, Shakti, and you can also Google about Lord Ram and Sita. All of these three gods are divine feminine and divine masculine couples who went through a process of twin flame journey. The twin flame journey, the whole concept has actually gone from India and then spread to the whole world, and now it's the time that it will come back to India very soon. So this is the part 2 of the channeling on divine masculine gets very sure about divine feminine, while divine feminine surrenders fully to source. And I was saying that there are many people like me, and there are others in India also who are very well versed with twin flame journey, and they know what the twin flame union in actuality is all about. But then I would still like to say that there are many people who have been selling twin flame union like a product, and they are saying that we will get you into the union, we will do this, we will do that. And they are considering, or they are thinking that to be in a twin flame union means that the divine masculine and the divine feminine have to be living under the same roof, only and only talking about romantic stuff, going on dates, doing all the mills and boons and all the movie stuff. The movie stuff is not real, guys. So Lord Sri Ram and Sita, coming to this, that they were on a mission on planet Earth, just like Radha and Krishna, just like Shiva and Shakti, and they went through major phases of separation. major phases of separation by choice. No one had forced them, guys. You have to understand, no one forced them to be separated. But being on the path of dharma, being on the path of morality, they decided that they will be more focused and they will give all their energy to the mission for which they are here, fully devoted on planet Earth. They did not have any thought about keeping their own personal feelings above all this. So Sri Ram was a king. Now some of you are from the Western world, so you may not know, but the story of Ramayana means the path that Ram took. Ram and Ayana means the path that Ram took. And his path was the path of being the perfect man. He was the perfect man because he always only loved his woman. He only made sure that duty and service to humanity is above even family and his children and his wife. He considered his people to be his children, and he gave everything for it. He even got separated with Sita because he was so much in love with his duty. At the same time, while he loved Sita the most on the planet, love between Ram and Sita is very, very pure and very, very unique and very, very genuine. Same thing happened with Radha Krishna because they're all incarnations. So Krishna and Radha are like one and the same. Krishna is Radha, Radha is Krishna. Same as Ram is Sita and Sita is Ram. Those who understand the pain of Sita should also understand the pain of Ram. Because a lot of people think that, divine masculine is having fun being separated from the divine feminine. Ram suffered the most. He suffered so much. He cried so much for her. He didn't even sleep on a bed after Sita left for the forest. He chose to leave Sita, and then Sita was exiled and she went to the forest while she was pregnant. And this is when he was really in love with her. And everything happened just over one night. They had no idea that they are going to get separated. So their story is so genuine, so pure, and this is a true story because we have so much proof, be it carbon dating or be it NASA finding proofs, be it everything. We have this very strong proof that this story actually happened, and there has never been any changes in the story. There have been some changes in the televised versions, of course, because they have to sell the show and there is this whole concept of TRP. But if you read from any, and those who have made it as per the actual story, they have not made any changes to this, to the epic. Now Shiva and Shakti, when Shiva and Shakti are not like in the proper form, they were Shiva and Sati. And Sati was the daughter of Daksh Prajapati, who was a king, but he was a very arrogant king. And a lot of people see Shiva as the god that we all look up to, but in his time, or when he was going through all these situations, that's not how his father-in-law or some people looked at him. They thought that he is this guy who is, with his dreadlocks and with his snakes and with his animals. And his another name is Pashupatinath, which means Pashupati. Pashu means animal and Pati means Lord, and so Lord, God of animals. You cannot be a Shiva lover if you are not an animal lover. Shiva was inseparable with his animals. Shiva was inseparable with marijuana. Shiva is inseparable from Dhatura. These are all the things, and he is the one who took all the poison. He drank the poison to save others. The gods Shiva, Ram, Krishna, they have sacrificed so much, always sacrificed so much, and their feminine counterparts equally did the same things. So Sati loved Shiva so much, she loved Shiva so much that she could not bear the thought of anyone insulting her, even if it's her own father. And her own father publicly humiliated Shiva, saying that he's a poor guy. He's not, as affluent, as wealthy, because she was the daughter of a king, so she was a princess. And with Shiva, she was living in the mountains, in the snow. It was not the same life for her. So she was mocked, she was insulted, she was humiliated, and as long as her father said things to her, she took it. But the moment it came on her divine masculine, this is the level of trust the divine feminine had with the divine masculine, that he loves me, he's a pure person, he is an innocent person, don't, he is against the norms of society, so don't speak ill for him. But her father continued speaking ill about him, and thus she jumped into the fire. Now, obviously, in the modern world, we have all these distractions, and there is this concept of karmics. Now, a lot of people do not understand karmics. They think that karmic is only supposed to be a woman or a relationship. That is not true. Karmic is basically a karmic relationship, or a karmic pattern is basically an addiction. It's a very strong form of addiction, and mostly the masculines have this addiction because masculines believe in escapism, and anyone who is escaping has to be logic driven, has to be analytical. That's why they think about escaping. They put their brain, they do the calculation, they do the math, and they say, okay, so I'm going to run away from this and I'm going to escape, and there will be no problem at all. So they run away. They try to run, whatever. They try to do those things. So the karmic patterns are not just people, it's addictions, and addictions can attract people as well, situations, people. Now, in the modern world, so as to say, there is like sex is available everywhere. You have so many applications for sex and this and that, and this has also cropped out because of the addictions people have. It's like throwing yourself into a bad relationship or a one night stand or a fling is like trying to escape, but it comes with a lot of downer, with many days, and sometimes for some people months and months of depression. So it's like, for when you're doing it, when you're getting into it, you're like, yeah, okay, I can do it, but then later on you understand that this was the worst decision to make, even worse than what you were going through. So coming back to Shiva and Sati's story, Sati jumped into the fire, she killed herself, and after her death came this long phase of separation. Now in this phase of separation, Shiva completely meditated. He was drowned in meditation, he did not come out, and Parvati was reborn. So there was an age gap between Shiva and Parvati also. There was, as it is, an age gap between Sati and Shiva, but then back in those times people used to live longer. There was this concept of age still there, still lurking there, but obviously Shiva was God, he was already God, so gods are beyond age, and gods know that their soul is the actual deal, not the body. They have gone beyond the body. In many cases they have transcended from that phase and they've gone to a higher dimension, so the body's standards change. Now this is a deeper discussion, and I will do it another video. If you request for it, I will make you understand how people switch to subtle body forms, to different dimensions, to higher dimensions, what happens. And this is all of this you have to read, and you will find out the concept of time, how it changes when the cycles change, how does aging change. In the dark ages, the people, they age really fast, like by the time they are 30 they are in their middle age or something. But this is not how it happens in the golden age or the silver age or the bronze age. So obviously Parvati was born, and then she grew up, and then Shiva was in meditation. This is all separation for them, all of it. And it was not easy because Sati had committed suicide, she killed herself, but being a goddess she could obviously come back, but it did take her time too. That's why suicide is completely prohibited. It is a big no-no. In spirituality it is a big no-no. So, and in case of Sati, it was like she chose it. She chose to die than to hear ill about her husband. And you can see this is a pattern that they had to work out. And this was a pattern they had to work out. So they worked it out. And then Parvati was born and she meditated. And this was a more difficult phase of separation for her because she knew that she is Sati, reborn as Parvati. But Shiva did not accept her at first. He was like, no, I don't know. I only love Sati. Then she went into very deep meditation, and meditation, dhyan, focused attention is the only way to figure this journey out. Because the feminine is connected to masculine. When the feminine ascends, the masculine has no choice but to ascend. So when Parvati ascended, obviously Shiva ascended. They recognized each other fully now. Now someone can say, oh, Shiva didn't recognize Parvati. Obviously Parvati was hurt, but she did not take it personally. She was like, okay, does not mean that he doesn't love me. The same is the case with divine feminine and masculine in the modern concept, where the feminines, they don't forgive him for many years, and they get into karmic situation, he gets into karmic situation. They are both arrogant. One of them doesn't have enough self-respect. The other one has too much ego. There's such a horrible misbalance. There are these, notions they suffer from. They're constantly accusing each other in their imagination also. They're having these fights. It's not easy. I mean, even when I do the channeling, I know it's not been easy for me as well. But it's completely worth it. Every single minute of it is literally worth it. So when the divine feminine reaches the surrender state, she is ascending. Divine masculine has no other choice left than to ascend, because he cannot, if he is the masculine, if he is the one, if he is the other half, or if he is the the other piece of the puzzle, then if one puzzle finds the place, then what's left? Then the other one obviously finds the place. So this is what happens in this case also. And the channeling, I will do it word by word now, because I think I have given a great deal of information about how it all works out. And if you look at the tarot lover card also, it's the same thing. Divine masculine cannot ascend till divine feminine ascends, and the ascension of divine feminine happens when she surrenders completely to the source energy. Now you may go and watch hundreds of videos, you may watch whatever, like 100 of audio, listen to 100 of audios, you may go to healers, you may get therapy, you can do whatever you want. I mean, these things will help you, of course, because you are in finding information, you're researching. Everything happens step by step. No problem in that. But if you know this, if you get, somehow you land up here, and you don't consider it to be the actual thing, then you're definitely going to waste a lot of time, because surrender is the key. Okay? So verbatim I will do this channeling now.